Memorandum to academics, bureaucrats, think tanks, elected officials, media, culture makers, the government of North Macedonia, and all those who are on our side. From me, Louis Cipher. Date February 2019, and regarding the approved narrative on North Macedonia. Summary. Now that the government of Zoran Zaev and the newly named North Macedonia has acquiesced to our demands, we thought it would be useful to distribute this memo with a list of talking points to bolster Zaev and his government. As you know, Zaev is not very intelligent, and coming from a backwater country like North Macedonia, needs all the help we can give him in keeping the name we have assigned. In addition, and as you will read or hear, most of the people in the country insist they are Macedonians and that the country is Macedonia. They are angry about the name change and the way it was done, and they still refuse to give up and give in. We therefore have devised these talking points, which are targeted to most of the Western world, in an effort to discourage any thought of a Macedonia or a Macedonian people, and all that goes with it. As you know, many in the Western world really aren't interested in knowing or finding the truth, and will accept just about anything we tell them. Truth, as you know it, is not really a big deal these days. Remember, if we can control the language, well, then we can control the debate. Right, so on then to the talking points. Number 1. Demonize any Macedonian who wants to keep their name, identity, history, culture, etc. as a nationalist, a pro-Russian, radical nationalist, or some other derisive term. Make sure these people are labeled in whatever form as backwards, provincial, uneducated, poor, bitterly clinging to their name and history, and make sure you accuse them of rejecting progress. As often as you can, tie them in with Russia, and accuse them of taking money from the Russians, or being in service of the Russians, or enjoying Russian vodka, Russian salad dressing, the Bolshoi ballet, or whatever. Number 2, continue to demonize the political right in the country, especially the political party of VMRO-DPMNE. We would hate to see them make a comeback and derail all of our progressive progress. This is a party that believes the past is important and tries to build on the fact that Macedonians over a century ago fought and sacrificed for a homeland for the Macedonian people. Make sure this party and those who support them are seen as racists, bigots, haters, and point out to all who will listen that they love God, their faith, their church, their country, their history, among the many other things which make them unique. All those who are good and global citizens will certainly recoil at the horror of people like these. Number 3, ensure that you always call the North Macedonian government pro-Western, and insist they are pro-NATO, pro-EU, pro-progressive, and have always been so. If anyone brings up the fact that Zoran Zaev's party, SDSM, calls each other comrades at their party conferences, politely ignore it and move on. Better yet, deny it, accuse them of being tied to the past, and move on. If someone brings up the fact that Ali Ahmeti, Zaev's junior partner, started out life as a Marxist, well, accuse them of hating Albanians and Muslims, and then move on. If anyone brings up the fact that the government supports the redistribution of wealth, the aborting of unborn Macedonians, the redefinition of the family to mean whatever you want it to mean, or the firm belief that free speech is dangerous, ignore them and accuse them of being far-right nationalists. Number 4. On the other hand, and in some instances, if it helps our side with the individual you are speaking with, for instance, someone within the Trump administration, tell them that the Zaev government absolutely adores President Trump and all that he is doing. We know that you might throw up a little bit in your mouth while you do this, but you must do it for the cause. Number 5. Push out the N-word north as much as possible. Even if there is no need to use North Macedonia in a sentence or remarks, use it anyway. Be creative and have fun. Remind them of it weekly, daily, hourly, by the very minute. The Open Society Foundation and its founder, George Soros, praise be upon him, wrote a report in January this year that managed to use North Macedonia an astonishing 118 times. Well done. Now, to all of you reading or hearing this memo, go and do likewise. Number 6, make sure that you use the adjective North Macedonian wherever you can. We want the people to be North Macedonians, their history to be North Macedonian, their food to be North Macedonian, their babies to be North Macedonian, at least the ones they don't abort, and so on. Everything about them is to be North Macedonian. Number 7, and finally, always take the opportunity to mention how Macedonia and Greece were, quote, once locked in vicious combat, unquote, to borrow from our friend Edward Joseph. But now peace, sweetness, and light eternal has broken out between the two. Only hallelujahs and hosannas are now shared between the Greeks and the North Macedonians. Why, they love each other so much they are practically ready to jump into bed with each other. Repeat all of this ad nauseum. Remember, as various folks have said, that if you repeat a lie often enough, people will begin to believe it. That is our plan with these lies. Repeat them constantly, and our target audiences, basically the Western world, will believe them. They will then repeat them and will, in turn, question the sanctity of the North Macedonians when they insist that they are Macedonians. And who knows? Maybe we'll even convince those backwoods provincials that they really are North Macedonians.